So if this one that we just read was a general one to the population and leadership of the Zionists and the socialists and everybody that was putting in the effort to build Israel, and he wanted to say, let's do it in a way that we can integrate the spiritual and the physical and all the different groups. And we see that it continues to be a real challenge for Israel, and to the extent that we do it, we're doing well. Our fault lines are in those places where we're not doing it. And we're seeing so many examples of it. Well, specifically, he was writing on behalf of the religious, the old school, saying, listen, these people are, you really have to consider them and everything that they're bringing and what they represent, and also the reality that Israel is at core a covenant with the Creator. That's what's giving us the right to return to Israel against the protests. And of course, we're still the same conflict and protests are continuing and continuing. So it really is speaking to our gestalt. So the next one, though, takes us, let's go into the historical, there's historical accounts for it because it was a famous event. And the history for it, all right. It's called the Kotel Affair of 1930. And what it's referring to, though, in this article, it gives a little more background, that already from the time of the British, the first High Commissioner, which, I mean, I think it's referring to Herbert Samuel, but Amin al-Husseini appointed the Mufti of the leader of Jerusalem, spiritual and national leader of the Arabs. And one of his most infamous fights was the fight against the Jewish national return to Eretz Israel, was to repudiate all Jewish rights to the Kotel Amaravi. In 1922, the British government issued a ban against placing benches near the Kotel because that was the Mufti insisted we were not allowed to do that. And then in 1928, the British officers, following, what the laws that they passed in order to keep the Mufti happy, interrupted the Yom Kippur service, and they forcibly dismantled the mechitza, separating men and women during prayer, 1928. A few months later, and we also have to understand, there have already been massacres in 1921, 22, small, that the Mufti initiated. He was already doing that. But then the Mufti, they decided a new provocation. They began to hold Muslim religious ceremonies opposite the Kotel, precisely when the Jews were praying. And the British authorities granted the Arabs permission to transform the building adjacent to the Kotel into a mosque, complete with a tower for the muezzin, the crier, calling to prayer 5 times a day. And this went on. He did that 5 times a day. And then active Arab turbulence reached its peak during the riots of 1929. On the 10th of Av, some 2,000 Arabs swarmed the Kotel, chasing away Jews praying there and burning several Torah scrolls. And then riots broke out in Jerusalem and spread throughout the country. Nearly 100 Jews were slaughtered. This is the riots of 1929, mainly in Hebron and Yerushalayim. And then, to deal with it, the League of Nations dispatched a committee to Eretz Yisrael to clarify the ownership of the Western Wall. The Arabs claimed to be the rightful owners, not only of the Temple Mount, but for the Kotel as well. And they rejected any agreement that permitted Jews to pray at the Kotel. It's solely a Muslim site, and the Mufti claimed, and Jews pray only by the good grace of the Arabs that we allow them to pray there. And then Rav Kook appeared to the committee and he spoke. What do you mean you say the commission will decide to whom the wall belongs? Does this commission or the League of Nations own the wall? Who gave you permission to decide to whom it belongs? The entire world belongs to the Creator, blessed be He, and He transformed ownership of the entire land of Israel, including the Kotel, to the Jewish people. No power in the world, not the League of Nations nor this commission, can take this God-given right away from us. The chairman retorted, Jews have not been in control of the land or the wall for close to 2,000 years. At this point, Rav Kook decided the members of the commission needed a lesson in Jewish law, calmly, respectfully explained. In Jewish law, the concept of Yeush Ba'alim, that the owners have given up, despair, applies to real estate. If the owner of a stolen tract of land forfeits his ownership, he gives up hope of ever retrieving it. However, if his land is stolen and he continually protests the theft, the owner retains his ownership for all time. And this made a powerful impact on the Jewish community. The newspaper, which is actually the letter that we're going to read, I think was published in this newspaper. We cannot refrain mentioning once again the chief rabbi of Eretz Yisrael who sanctified God and Israel with his testimony. The witnesses who preceded him stood meekly with tottering knees, but after the chief rabbi's appearance, we felt a bit relieved. The weight had been lifted from our hearts. He raised our hearts, strengthened our backbone, and restored dignity to the Torah and the nation. But then the British, the Leumi, they made a compromise where Jews would recognize Arab ownership of the Kotel, and the Arabs would permit them to approach the wall. The right to pray at the Kotel wasn't even specifically mentioned. Due to the tense situation, the Vad Leumi, the Zionist executive of the National Assembly, was prepared to recognize Arab ownership, but the Vad Leumi stipulated that the Arabs, they must explicitly recognize the rights of Jews to pray there. So at least we can always pray there. Yes, you own it, but we can always pray there. That's what they were willing to do. But because this is a religious matter, the mandatory government required that the Vad Leumi, this proposal be also approved by the rabbis, the religious authorities, the rabbinate, Rav Kook and Yaakov Meir and Rabbi Sonnenfeld. And Rav Kook refused to authorize it. And let's just read now the letter, because what we're reading is the letter that he made public And we don't have, we're going to read it from the original text. I couldn't find actually the full text anywhere. And there's something charming about this text. And I'll make it a little bit bigger. But it's called Kotleinu, our Kotel. And this was actually published on the 8th of Mar Cheshvan, which was announced as a public fast day in the land of Israel because of the insult that was happening to the Kotel HaMaravi, that they were trying to take ownership away from us. And so they declared it a fast day, and Rav Kook published this. LeIsrael ve'la'ami amei hatarbut kulam, to Israel and all the cultured nations of the world, to all of you. Goy echad yesh be'olam. There is one people in the world, Yisrael Shemo, whose name is Israel. V'zakenhu hagoy hazeh. This nation is an elder. Kochot adirim amdu alav lahakchido min ha'olam. Powerful forces stood against him to destroy them from the world. Amim rabim chamushei koach zroa basar. Many nations that are armed with strong fleshly strength, arms of flesh and powerful arms. Bazu artso, they bizayon, they disdained the land of Israel, his land. Hechrivu mikdasho, destroyed his mikdash. Pizru et banav lechol ever, scattered its children everywhere, to all everywhere. Ve'tzareru oto bechamat nekam, and murdered. Tzorer is a murderer. Yimach Shemo was called the Tzorer Hagadol. And murdered them with hate, in hot vengeance, with hot vengeance. That's a précis of a certain aspect of our history. Ve'la'am hazeh yeshna neshama adira. But this nation has an extraordinary, powerful soul. Rabat onim, with much strength, asher lo tuchal lehikached, that cannot be destroyed. Nishmat chaim, it has the soul of life. Revuya leshed shel yotzer achaim kula. It has a soul of life that is sort of overflowing with the vitality. Leshed is the inner vitality of Yotzer HaChaim Kulam, of the creator of all life. We have a connection with the energy of the Yotzer HaChaim, the one who created life. Haneshama Hazot, this soul of Israel, that Abraham and Sarah, I guess, began, Haneshama Hazot nitgalta be'olam, this soul was revealed in the world, al yedei sefer hasfarim, through the book of books, the Bible, hakatuv b'chtav kodesh hakodashim, that is written in the writing of the Holy of Holies. Ve'oz Hashem בספר הגדול והקדוש הזה. And it's the might, the power of the divine that is in this great and holy book. That is the foundation. Hu hayesod letarbut haenoshit. It's the foundation for human culture. Hahoveh ve'ha'atida, currently and in the future. Le'am hazeh, to this people who are the agents of the Sefer, of the author of the Book of Books. Le'am hazeh, to this people, haya mikdash nisgav bekedushato. They had a sanctuary, the Beit HaMikdash, that is exalted in its holiness, mikol mikdash asher b'melo ha'olam kulo, more than any holy place that's in the entire world. Ve'achrei asher nishdeda arzo, and after our land was robbed, stolen from us, ve'necherav mikdash geono, and its holy sanctuary of its remnant in the world of life here, zeu kotlenu, this is our kotel, kotel ha'ma'aravi, the famous Western Wall. So I guess there was really nothing else that was it was a constant prayer space that we had from the time of the destruction. And there wasn't another one somewhere along the wall, somewhere. I guess that's where it was. I guess because it's near the corner, that access, but that's what we had. That became our only remnant. She'pe'erei banav, and when we have that it's the glorious of her children, of Israel's children, haba'im mimerchakim, that are coming from far away, beneshamot kmeot, with souls that are yearning, legaon olamim, they're looking for the I guess the great universal. It's for prayer. Neshamot kmeot legonamim. It's a metaphor for prayer. They're coming from the distances. Ba'imem v'shofchim siach. They're coming and they're pouring forth the conversation. They're praying they're speaking to the Creator. B'makom ha'kedusha hazeh, in this holy place. Srid kol ha'mechmadim shel omet ha'plaot. It's the remnant of all the sweetnesses shel umat ha'plaot, of the nation of wonders. This is all we have left. Here we were, the nation of wonders, and the Beit HaMikdash functioning, and so much, and this is all we have left. Kol am sheyesh lo zik nitzotz nishmat enosh. And thus, every nation, every person in the world that has a little spark of a human soul, muchachu la'amod beretet shel cherdat kodesh, has to be standing in some sort of trembling of holy anxiety. They have to be a little bit odd, like here. They have to take. He's trying to say. I mean, the way. Okay, I'm sorry. I just trying. It's hard to translate this. Every nation, every person in the world. He's talking to the non-Jewish world, and maybe also within the Jewish world, but to the non-Jewish world, has to stand with some awe and respect of this lifnei hadarat hashiva, from the splendorous return, the geon hatzfiyah, and this huge vision, asher le'am atik hayomin, that this ancient nation, ancient of days, asher or nevuat emet, in which the light of true prophecy, me'ir lo et darko, illuminates for it its ways, mle'at ha tachtachim, right? That's a tough. Achat tachtachim. I'm not sure why. I have to look up that word. I thought it was maybe. Now I see it's chet. Mle'at achat chatim. Somebody can type it in or something. I don't want to try to do it with this computer here, but it's I guess it could be this path that's been full of all these could be difficulties. Vehine, and now that's on one hand.
It says butchers here. Does that make sense?
Because which?
Butchers. Sorry. Also obstacle. Obstacle.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's ways. What was the first one?
Butchers.
Butchers, like animal butchers.
Yeah, but the second meaning is either bumps or obstacles.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. We're reading it as obstacles. Vehine. So that's on one hand. Here we are. We've had this nation of wonders. This is what's left, and yet we're we're still calling for the temple. We haven't given up on it at all. So that's quite amazing. Now, hine ba tzara ha'elanushiyut. Now here comes a real suffering for humankind. Milchemet ha'olam. We have a world war. Reviat hadamim, that's spilling, pouring forth bloodletting. Ve'enei amim neurim niftechu lerevacha, and the eyes of illuminated, enlightened nations are opening broadly, their eyes are opening wide. Ozneihem potchu, their ears are opening. Ve'za'akat zakein ha'amim higia ad libam. And the cry, the scream from this ancient nation is reaching to their heart. They're finally hearing this. And Ha'am, Hanaor, Habriti, the enlightened British people, the British nation, Vechaver Ha'amim, and it's, I guess it could be, and the League of Nations, Ve'od Amim, and other nations, Ha'omdim, La Nes HaTarbut, that are standing in, I guess as banners of culture. These are the cultured who are holding the culture in the world. Hekiru et or hatzedek. They are recognizing the righteous light, the justice, the light of justice. Vedrishat habayit haleumi leIsrael, and the call, the demand, the requirement to have the national home in Israel. Be'eretz ha'avot hakdusha ve'ha'atika, in the land of our forefathers and mothers, holy and ancient land of our avot ve'imahot, who kara, recognized be'orach mishpat, in a legal manner. It's now, the time has come now, and they're ready to do this. And he's writing this in 1929. They did do this. When in the earlier, this has already been in the put into the League of Nations, or people look with the national, Balfour Declaration and so forth. והנשמות המרובבות של העם הגדול החלו להרגיש ברגש חי מהו להם שריד הקודש הזה. And the multitudes of souls of this great nation, I think he's referring here to within Israel, hechelu, have begun to feel with a living feeling what it is for them, this holy remnant, the Kotel. We really started to appreciate it. And you saw what happened in 67 when we restored to it, how huge opening. And
Yeah,
that's sort of...
I've got photographs of Jews at the Kotel in 1900. The Turks allowed them when we weren't perceived as a threat, a national threat.
Well, the Mufti, but that's because Mufti was sabotaging the things at this point.
Right.
Yeah. והנשמות, yeah, so it said, Neshamot HaShagam, and we are now beginning to feel this living feelings for what this holy remnant means to us. Tamtzit kol hamachmadim asher la'am ba'aretz. It's the essence of all the sweetness, delights that this nation has in the land. It's the centerpiece. It's the core of it. Ubeyom ha'gadol va'kadosh beyom ha'kippurim. And what just happened was, in the last Yom Kippurim, they didn't give them the rights to. And then the whole. I guess Yom Kippurim was after the massacres. This was even after the massacres, I think.
Yeah, but in 2023 in Tel Aviv, the Jews took down the Mechitza in Tel Aviv. Right?
Yes. Yes, but it's it wasn't the Kotel.
Okay.
It's
it was Yom Kippur though.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole interesting cultural evolve also. Ubeyom HaKadosh hazeh, and in this holy great day, Yom Kippurim, shekol ha'umah b'chol tfutzotea, in which the entire nation, all its diasporas, hogeh nechaim b'zikaron gaon kodsha, are we're tuning in our whole memories to its great holiness, Mimei Kedem, from the primordial days, Asher Shiv'atayim Yigdal Az Roshem HaKavod, Asher Yichkak Alev Kol Am V'Kol Ish. He's saying we're remembering in the prior days where its influence was 70 times or 7 times, multiple times more than its influence. And and its holy, its honorable impression, its whole glorious impression, that it hakak, it embedded, lachkok something is to not exactly to tattoo it, but it's branded in, that it was branded on the heart of every nation and every person, Baal Tarbut Venimus, that had any culture, and Nimus is politeness, but that was open to what they were seeing. Le'umat hagoy ha'etan hazeh hamefitz mizohar nishmato. At that time, in this day of Yom Kippur, which is a little bit of a memory of what it was in the prime, when Yom Kippur was fully functioning, when its impression made on the heart of every person in every nation, about Hagoy Ha'etan Hazeh, this powerful people, the people of Israel, Ha Mefitz Mizohar Nishmato, who are bringing forth from the light, from the glow of the soul of Israel, Karnei Orot Kodesh, rays of holy light, Al Pnei Tevel, on the face of the earth, to the entire planet. Ve'yechidei ha'am, and the Yechidei ha'am, the unique, the special ones of the people of Israel. Right, and he's one of the Yechidei ha'am, the special souls of Israel. Shehem berucho ba'ei kocho mikol afsei aretz. There are these unique ones in the nation that they, in their spirit, are carrying. They're sort of representing all the multitudes of Seiya Aretz. They represent, again, the Kohen Gadol represented for the entire people. That was part of the Yom Kippur, that this was for the entire people. But right now, Yechidei Ha'am, the unique ones, that in their spirit are representing everyone, all the Afsei Aretz, Omdim V'mitromemim beromemut kodesh, are standing and elevating in the heights of holiness. Mityapachim umitmogegim miotzer ra'a veyagon, are rising in the heights of holiness, and they are also sighing and collapsing from the bad and agonizing. Yagon is the word agony. Yagon, from all the bad and agonizing, mikol asher avar aleim, from everything that they went through, miyedei midak'eim chinam, from those who put them down for no reason, just simply out of hate, that they were put down and not allowed to do what they were supposed to do. Mitnachamim hem be'or haneshama hagdola, they take comfort in the light of the great soul, Nachalat HaMeromim, the inheritance of the elevations, Asher Itam, that is with them, Shehi Aruvat Chayim Lanetzach. It's the source of their life for eternally, that we're part of this. Vehine Bau Ele, and here came these people, Shehem Kmu Shluchim Shel Ha'am HaTurbati HaGadol, that are the messengers of this great cultured nation, Ha'am HaBriti, the British people. He's now going to give them feedback for doing what the Mufti told them to do. And here come these agents of culture, the British people, Ube'ekev Sitna, and in the footsteps of the hatred, Haba'a michoser tarbut, that comes from a lack of culture, v'mitzarut ayin, from narrowness of vision, harsu begasut, they destroyed crudely et kol machshavot azahav, all the thoughts of gold, et kol binyanei ha'atzilut, all the buildings from the highest order, hamitrakmim beneshamot hamiparim, that were being sowed, the inner, in the souls of the prayers on Yom Kippur. Zahav, the Kohen wore gold on Yom Kippur. These are all images that this was Yom Kippur, and they were building that holiness within themselves, just praying on Yom Kippur. And the British came and just destroyed this. These people who were doing this, the prayers, who were shlichei hatzibur ha'israeli mikol afasim, who were the agents of the community of Israel from everywhere. Ha'umah hitpatzla miyagon vekaev ne'ekar. The people, the nation is sort of the hitpalets. Feel free to look up pellets, but it's a sort of collapsing from agony and awful pain, verishmei katnut amoach, and the remnants of smallness of mind, va'atimat hargasha, and the closing up of feeling, sealing, not having any feelings, neged hod olam zeh, in the face of this world splendor. Od holchim umitgalim, they are continuing to reveal al yedei ovlot, through the avel, through the injustices that they're doing, something like that, sheshavinu klipat shishum, that their worth is like the shell, the garlic shell, the outside of the garlic shell.
It mentions shock or shudder for pellets.
Shudder, shock.
Shock and shudder, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're in shock.
Yeah.
They're in shock from this pain and small-mindedness and the closedness of feelings that are still coming forth. Yedu Israel, Yeda Israel, Israel, you must know, et asher na'asa lesrid machamado, that which was done to the remnant of our sweet place, the Kotel, ve'yid'u amei hatarbut kulam, and all the cultured nations, ve'chaver ha'leumim, and the League of Nations, ve'ha'am habriti bal hamandat v'yichud, and especially the British nation, the holders of the mandate, especially, they should know what was done and not just allow it to pass, and to give him the power, give the mufti the power to do all that. Vayir'u letaken et ha'ma'avet, vat, and they will be concerned to repair the injustice. Velo yosifu lingoa od, and they will not continue to touch, to damage anymore. Benachalat kodesh hakedoshim, and our inheritance of our holy of holies. Veyid'u veyakiru, and they will know and they will recognize mihu zeh ha'omed achar kotleinu, who it is that is standing On the other side of Kotel, the Holy One. It's a metaphor for the Holy One who is behind our wall, so to speak. And that's the end of it. So it's still very relevant. It's more than ever because the bad guys are screaming more than ever. As we get, but it continues. They were trying to do the most they could at that time as well.
But Herbert Samuel had ceased to be the High Commissioner in 1925, because I read that Cook and Samuel had regular meetings, and there was great harmony with him. He was
Samuel was very supportive, but the guy afterwards wasn't. Do you know his name?
That's what I'm saying. And no, he wasn't. And I think, was it Richard Storrs? Was it Ronald Storrs? I think. And this gave. This was, I mean, the Stern Gang and Igun at this point decided, well, we're not going to cooperate with the British anymore. This was
Give me one second. Just hold on. I'm going to open the door so I can. Well, these are they're still very strong calls that are as relevant now as they were when they were written.
Right. Correct.
And he really is speaking as a sort of God's Israeli representative. So I want to bless us that all of Israel will come to know, well, the spiritual awakening of the inner. Because Rav Kook speaks a lot about now it's time for us to awaken the inner to the temple within in order to build the temple on the outside. And may we be blessed to do that in such a way that we can really bring about the end of evil and the building. And Purim, we're gonna spend more time on Purim. What tomorrow we'll do for Shabbat Zachor, and then Monday, we'll focus in on Purim material. But it's all very relevant. I mean, Haman, it's like amazing how much it continues to, all the Hamans of the world. It's all Amalek at source, right? So it's Shabbat Zachor is all about that. But may we be blessed to be able to Limchot et Zecher Amalek, to bring a world of complete peace and well-being so that there'll be absolutely no memory of Amalek, anything like that, anywhere in the world. And may the Tzva Haganah Israel be the agents for destroying evil, and may all who are wounded be healed, all who are mourning be comforted, and the holy souls really bring about the great elevation of Israel and humankind. B'mehera b'yameinu, and let us join together with Roberta Venomar.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Good, you came in good timing for the Amen.
May we be blessed. May we be blessed. We're going to be the ones this generation.
I watched the speech by Netanyahu and Modi in the Knesset today. Did you see it? Did you hear it?
I saw parts of Modi. I was watching it here. Oh, okay. There's someone here. So we'll shut down.
Okay.
And tomorrow from here, Shabbat Zachor. We'll prepare for Shabbat Zachor. Laila Tov. Toda Rabba.
Laila Tov.
Laila
Toda,
Tov.
toda, toda.